Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. We've got some information for you. So we've completed our injector replacement job on this vehicle, the EGR clean, and we just wanted to talk about and get you thinking about what do you actually get if you do the inlet manifold clean. What do you get for that? Whether you do it yourself or whether you pay for it. We really need to talk about it. So, but before we do, we're just going to have a quick wander underneath this vehicle. It's done nearly 300,000 Ks. So we thought it's a good one to spend a few minutes and just have a bit of a look around and see what we can find. Always works better if you've got the light in hand. Okay, so one owner. This is not one of those joking ones where I go, one owner, never been off-road, and it's absolutely trash. This is one owner, and always serviced at Nutter Wadding Toyota. So let's just have a look and see what happens at 300,000 Ks. Oh, look at the bush. Look at that lower control arm bush. Cracked virtually all the way through. So this is going to be a bit more bad news. Now, I bet you none of these places told them that their bushes were on the way, or they were 10% split or 20% or anything like that. Now, here, important information. While I'm talking percentages and 10% and 20%, I've got some really awesome, important information. It's going to save you hundreds or thousands of dollars. Now, everybody knows Parts Day is Monday. Now, if you're not in Australia, I'm sorry, I can't service the whole world, but we can only do parts for people in Australia. But you may also know that I've dedicated Mondays, generally Monday's Parts Day, and if you want to stay in tune with if that changes, or if for one day of the week, like yesterday, we took Monday off, so Parts Day is today, Tuesday. Yes, today is a Tuesday. But we've got a new system in place because some people missed it and some people don't care, they just want to text me anyway. So this is what we're going to do. Monday's Parts Day, so if you text me on Monday for parts during school hours preferably, preferred first thing in the morning from about 8 AM, you get the normal price. If you text me on a Tuesday, other than for suspension, we add 10%. If it's Wednesday, we add 20%. If it's Thursday, we add 30%. You get the drift. By Friday, you got a 40% loading. By Saturday, you got a 50% loading. And by Sunday, we're going to put, what are we up to? 60% loading. Isn't that absolutely awesome? And if you text outside of business hours, we'll add an extra 10% onto any of those. And if we make a lot of money out of this, we'll donate at least 50% of it to charity, because we don't actually need the money. We just want you to not, obviously do things at the wrong time. Help me, help you. So back to the percentages. It would have been good if the owner was advised by anyone, like, let's say, for example, Nutter Wadding Toyota, if they had been servicing the vehicle, could say, oh, look at this one. Oh, no, I was going to say it's a lot. I was going to say this one's not even cracked. But yeah, there is a bit, it might be hard to see that crack, you can just see it there, Anyway, this one's not too bad, but this one is, well, it's nearly all the way through. So that's going to need replacing sooner rather than later. I'll try and demonstrate, get in there a bit better for everyone to see. See the split? It's from that right-hand side there, right in the middle. Seeing the gap there? And it goes all the way across to about, look, it's about 60 to 70% split. It's torn up pretty badly. Let's have a look at these ones. See if anybody said, look, they're about 30% worn. You know how this is what we say to people. We let them know. But you know what? If you watch my videos, you don't even need me to check your vehicle to tell you how split these bushes are, because you can slide underneath and have a look yourself. Or you can go, how many Ks have I done? Oh, I've done 250,000. Guess what? That's when Anth says that's probably when you're going to need these lower arms or bushes replaced. So based on averages, this is what we tell you. Look at this suspension. Original suspension. How good is it? Like, I don't see any leaks. The bushes here, right? Let's just get around. Look at that. Look how good they are. they are. The original suspension's really good. Don't throw it out whatever you do. If you've got good original suspension, please let me know about it. Let people on our Prado crew group, if you're in Australia, know about it, because some people use stock suspension. Let's not throw it away. Let's try and get you a small amount of money back for it, because there's a lot of it around. But rather than throw it in the bin, wouldn't you rather get $100 for the set or something like that, and we can put it into, it's rare that people don't want a lift kit or upgraded suspension, but you do got to make sure you do get an upgrade. So anyway, just having a quick look around here. Turbo's dry, bone dry, nearly 300,000 Ks. The sump, the engine, bone dry. Auto pan, bone dry. Transfer case, bone dry. It's had plenty of lubrication. At least that looks good. I like that. That's good to see. Now that is something that's been happening right. So at least there's some good news here. There's always some good news. You seen anything, mate? You've been looking a couple of minutes longer than me, no? Nothing exciting to see here, he says, no? But we're going to spend some more time and have a good look around. This is just a quick 5-minute video, and then we're going to go back underneath the engine bay and have a look around. We're also going to do an auto flush. That's the auto transmission fluid flush. What do you get for that? Well, let's get the jobs done. I don't think there's much to see here. It's all the usual stuff. I'm not going to bore you. So what we're going to do, we're going to get this transmission oil flush done here, not in this video, and then back up top we'll check over a few things that we fixed up and discuss a few other things that may be of interest to you. Right, so part of the quick inspection we do includes checking the fluid levels, even though it should have been done at service. You can see what happens though, and we didn't bother showing you in this video the little sweat or the very slight leak you get from the steering rack boots. See what happens? The oil level drops down, but it doesn't matter how many times you go back to the same place for service, at no time did they ever top it up, I can tell you, by how much is leaked there and how much is down. This is the first time in a lifetime of topping it up, and that's what we're going to do. So mate, if you can go ahead and just top that up to level for me, we're going to show everybody. We've got a little, can't remember what brand this is. You know these little ones. You know, it's getting a bit older now. Let's just count how many pumps it takes to get that up to the level. Now the engine's cold. You can see it's on cold minimum. Maybe that's why they thought, oh, that's okay. I think it's something like 10 mil a pump. It's only a very small amount. Keep going, mate. I'll tell you when to stop. You count the pumps and I'll tell you when to stop. So we're going to go to cold max. We're about 3/4 of the way there. Couple, maybe one more. We'll go one more for good luck. Yeah, that's it. Even though it's over, it's not going to matter. How many pumps was that?
9 pumps.
9 pumps. There you go. So whatever that was, not a lot, but these are the things you need to check as the vehicles get older. Don't panic. You just need to top it up once. And my money's on that'll be 1 pump every 6 months or something like that. So we've done the compensation codes, the pilot learn, the big road test. It's looking good. It drives great. So what I want to talk about, I think I mentioned at the start of the video, is so what do you actually get for cleaning a manifold? What do you actually get? Well, before we do that, let's just point out that after a good half-an-hour drive, the power steering level's gone from cold minimum up to over the cold max. It's right on the hot max, to be quite honest, right? It's right on the hot max line, so it does go up as it warms up. That's why there's lines for hot and cold, but it doesn't change a lot. Try not to overfill it because it could get messy if you do. Now the other thing we've noticed, not that it's our job, and we don't often top up brake fluid, and this is why. If you have a look at the brake fluid level over here somewhere, see the level there, you'll see there's a line there, maybe, you know, which might indicate the mark. It's around, that line there is around about, somebody's put that there, is around about where the line is around here. Around about, I'll say, look, around here, you know, there's a couple of different marks, but look, it's around about there anyway. So what we're going to do, I've got my assistant here, he's going to top it up while we talk a bit, just to show you what we do, you know, little extras we do. We're not servicing the vehicle. We've done an injector replacement, we've done an EGR clean, all that related work, all the major maintenance. It's like 287,000 Ks, I think it was, that, oh yeah, something like that. So it's up there in Ks. We did a full inspection to see what it needs. The only thing we could really find that was of any importance was those split arms. We had a really good look around and there wasn't anything that's worth talking about. You know, we could probably pick a few things if we were desperate to make money, but there's no need to. And we've just topped up the brake fluid and the power steering. So looking at it from here, you can see the right levels around about from the seam, between the seam and the top, about halfway in between. Now the reason we don't normally always top it up is quite often your brake pads will be worn down, they'll be wearing down, so of course the fluid goes down, and then when you put the new pads in and push the pistons back, it goes back up again. I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier in the video, but this vehicle's got fairly new brakes. The front pads have been replaced very recently, we can see, and the rear's not so long before that, so they're near new, so the fluid level needs to be at the full maximum line is ideal. Now, what do you get for an inlet manifold clean? Well, this is the problem we've got, and that's what I wanted to try and explain to people. What do you get? Well, you don't really get much, and that's why on this one we didn't do the inlet manifold clean, and on most of them we don't. And some people, oh, you know, we've seen these this and that. Now, this is the problem we've got. So on both my 1KDs, the Prado and the Hilux, at some point in time, we did e-jar cleans and stuff like that, and you get to know what the vehicle's like before all the work's done, and as you guys do, you know what it's like after the work's done. And I can tell you, changing the injectors and all the related things like the map filter, cleaning the e-jar area, all the main congested area, is what makes the big difference in the job. So what we did, for example, on my 120 originally, we cleaned the e-jar, did the injectors, all that sort of thing, drove the vehicle for quite a period of time. A couple of things I noticed is the inlet manifold became a bit cleaner than what it was, and then the reason I know that is because we checked it. So we ran it for whatever it was, a year or two or something like that, checked the fuel economy compared to what it was before, we got all the normal improvements, and then a couple of years later I said, well, let's do the manifold now and see what difference it makes. And it made absolutely no difference. You get nothing. There was no more power, torque, fuel economy, nothing was better. Now on our Hilux, we did the full manifold and everything, and I'll tell you, there was no difference. There was no point doing it. So on these clients' vehicles, am I really going to charge, we've talked about it before, about the extra $1,000 ballpark? Like I said, I've explained, depending how clean you want it, how long we spend on it, all that sort of thing, to clean the intake manifold and the ports, including the R&R time and all that sort of thing, to get you nothing. If the ports are blocked and really congested, then obviously we need to clean them up. That's going to help. But if we see, even though it looks bad, it's black, it's dirty, it looks maybe like a volcano on the surface, but the build-up isn't there, the thick build-up isn't there, the engine can still suck exactly the air that it needs. So basically, we don't do it. There's been a number of vehicles where we've gone, oh, this one kind of looks bad, and you've got to not be fooled, as we mentioned in other videos, about that, just in the elbow and where it goes into the manifold. You've got to get past that, and that's what we did. We cleaned that out. Then looking further down into the manifold, it didn't look too bad at all. There's been a number of vehicles where we've gone, you know what, let's do this manifold, and we've gone ahead and done the job, and there's absolutely no, and I'll give you an example. So there was one where we went, should we, shouldn't we, should we, shouldn't we, should we, shouldn't we, and we didn't, and we put it together and we drove the vehicle and it's all good. It had the usual improvements, and he's a good client. He came back for a few things and spent some money on that. So while he came back and he was getting I think it was a BFE job and a few things like that, we went, well, we've got the coolant out, this and that. We just wanted to go the extra mile for our own R&TU, research and tell you, and that's what this is if you stuck around. So on that vehicle, we did a free inlet manifold clean, okay, free. Obviously the coolant was part of the BFE, this sort of thing, so it only cost us some gaskets and a fair bit of time, because we wanted to see the difference it made in that vehicle without changing anything else about how the vehicle runs. So the injectors, e-jar, everything else was done previously. The vehicle was running like that for whether it was weeks or months, I can't remember. We drove the vehicle after the work, we drove the vehicle before the work, came back for the BFE, and we did the manifold as well. I just want to be clear, just the manifold. So the only difference to performance and how it would be drive is cleaning that manifold, and it just didn't make any difference. So to answer the question is, what do you get for cleaning your manifold? Generally nothing, other than you get to feel good and go, yep, I did it, I got that bloody thing off and I cleaned it and I got it back on, and it was a messy crap job. I hated it, I never want to do it again. You're not going to get better fuel economy, you're not going to get better reliability, you're not going to get any more power, torque or anything like that. Remember, a diesel engine, it's not a high revving engine, and these ports, they're pretty good size considering the size of the engine and the amount of RPMs that it runs at, the 2,000 to 3,000 revs generally, unless you're tearing around at 4,500 revs or something like that, redlining it the whole time, which obviously you're not going to get your best performance or longevity out of it from doing that. So hope it answers the question a bit. What am I going to get for doing an inlet manifold? Because the answer's not much. Hope you liked it. Please hit the like button if you did, and subscribe, turn the bell on. More videos coming your way. See you guys.